Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Candidate Forum. This forum is regarding the seats which are available for the Oceanside City Council, and we have this wonderful facility in which to conduct this forum, and so we'll give you some more information about it shortly. But first, I would like to invite Dick Robertson, the interim superintendent president of MiraCosta College, to welcome us to here. Richard?
It is a pleasure on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, the staff, and the students of MiraCosta to welcome you to this beautiful campus and to this wonderful facility, ideal for this kind of forum. Oceanside is a partner to this institution. We are located in the beautiful city of Oceanside. We care deeply about our city and its future, and we want everyone to know that this is what we believe is a gem of the city of Oceanside. MiraCosta College serves more than Oceanside, but we are very proud to be located here and to be serving the students of this community and also our entire district. It is appropriate to have election forums. It gives a chance for the people who are running for office to express their views and a chance for the voting public to get an idea of who's running and what they stand for. We welcome that free and open discussion on this campus. It is part of what education is all about. So thank you for being here, for being part of this wonderful forum, and thanks to the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring it.
So one of the benefits we have of being in this country is the right to vote. The interesting thing about that, a lot of people don't care. They're apathetic, or they just don't want to take the time and trouble to vote and to get to know their candidates, so they don't bother. That's right. But then there are the others that say, yes, I have my right, and I'm going to go to the polls and I'm going to select my candidate. The thing is, they're trying to figure out which candidate is right. So, I mean, these gentlemen have taken pictures of each other. So some people want to choose the best-looking candidate. Someone else might like the sound of their name. Others might say, this person has more signs around, so they must be important. There should be another way to figure out how to choose the best candidate for you. And, of course, one thing is to find out what the candidate believes in, and if you think they are going to be leaning towards the position which you believe they should be taking. And so we have tried many, many different ways. Sometimes there are releases, press releases, on things that their professional press release writers have created, which don't tell us really anything because they don't want to offend anybody. And, of course, one good way is by taking a look at their ballot statements, which I have done. And so that kind of gives you an idea of what the positions are of each candidate. And what we've done, when I say we, the Chamber of Commerce in Oceanside takes voting very seriously. And they have a committee known as the Backpack Committee, which stands for Business and Community Political Action Committee. And they look at different things that are happening in Oceanside and the surrounding area and determine which races are important for us. And of course, anytime we have a mayoral race or a city council, that's primary on our list. And so today is very important. Now, today we have 4 candidates who are with us today. There are actually 5 candidates running for the position. And one candidate, Mr. Tran, declined to be here. So the other 4 have, and that's great because they have more time each one. So what the Backpack Committee did is they met in secret, and they have a question committee. And the question committee is designed to get answers to subjects of which may interest most of us. And the questions are not shared with anyone. I received the questions earlier today, and no one else had them until I gave them to some of the people from the committee tonight. So we are very protective about that, and we have spared no expense in getting a timekeeper who is never wrong, and that's Mr. Wright, Richard Wright. And next to him is his co-timekeeper, and that's Debbie Allen. And so what they're going to do when we ask these questions, yeah, go ahead and The mayor led the pause for you. And so what we're going to do is pay strict timing, attention to timing, so that we can get as many questions answered in the period we have. Now, we have a couple of rules. Most of our questions, the respondents will have an opportunity to answer them in 45 seconds. So when 30 seconds have elapsed, with 15 seconds to go, you will see a yellow sign like this. That means you've spent 2/3 of your time, you've got 15 seconds remaining, and then at the end, if you're not completed, you will hear a bell, and you will see a red ticket, which says you're done. And so that's what we'll do, and then if you keep talking, we get the hook. So it's pretty efficient the way we do things, still keeps the small town feeling, and I think it will really help get us through that. So we have several types of questions. One type is a narrative question, where I will ask each candidate a question, and then the questions have been designed so that each candidate gets different questions, in contrast to the last event which we had earlier today, where we had candidates for the school district. And then in addition to that, we have a couple of general questions which may be slightly modified for each candidate. And then, of course, we have some just flash questions just to test their knowledge on different things, too. So I hope maybe the combination of these will make it interesting for you and at the same time give you plenty of information. And before we began, I understand you drew lots to see where you were going to be sitting on the dais here, and Mr. Lowry is in position number 1, and so I will go in sequence like this and do my best to make sure I don't ask somebody too many questions and another person not enough at all. So are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Love that enthusiasm. Okay, we'll be doing that. So, Mr. Lowry, I'm going to ask you this first question. In your ballot statement, it states that Chuck Lowry is a successful business owner with the fresh perspective we need to end the dysfunction at City Hall and get things done for Oceanside families. What is your fresh perspective? How will it work? And how is it different from when you were last on the council?
Well, thanks for asking me the first question. Very thoughtful. I think that the difference that I bring to the City Council is that in addition to being born and raised here in Oceanside, I also am the proud founder of a very successful business, which no one else on this dais can say they've done. They may have opened a business, but I was able to sell the business, and I made a pretty good penny during the time the operation was taking place. I believe that it's important for the people who are leading our city to have business experience, and I can bring that complete business experience with me to the City Council and listen to the people of Oceanside, which I think a lot of our current council members do not do. They do not listen to the citizens of Oceanside.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Kern, in your ballot statement, you state that you worked to eliminate unnecessary spending. Specifically, what unnecessary spending did you eliminate, and how did you determine it was unnecessary?
Thank you. Before I get started, I like our timekeepers, but I want to give a shout out to Jerry Sawyer, who is our timekeeper of the past, who's under the weather. He's in Tri-City Hospital, and we kind of miss him over there with his little card and his moo thing. So actually, we've done a lot to cut off unnecessary spending. You know, we've eliminated 130 positions. You know, the idea that we had positions that become redundant. You know, we were in a downward cycle with the economy. So we actually had to eliminate 130 positions. Those positions were deemed unnecessary, you know, because of the decline in the economy. So we pulled back on those. Now we're expanding some of those because the economy is picking up. But for the most part, we right-sized the government. You know, the idea we actually went out there and did the things that we needed to do to actually save us. You know, we had to turn this around. Our reserves were down to zero before Gary came on. So the idea that we actually turned this city around in the last few years by controlling spending.
Okay, just as a follow-up, are there currently other areas where you have identified unnecessary spending?
we're going through that constantly. I'm not at this point saying what we're going to target or look at, but the idea that there are some areas that probably need a review of whether we need to keep supporting them or not.
Okay, thank you. Dana, you're next. Your question. In your ballot statement, you state, I am asking for your vote because I believe you deserve a voice on the City Council. What kind of voice will you bring to the council?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to MiraCosta College and to the Chamber for holding this this forum this evening. It's very important. I would like to bring a voice for the neighborhoods and for the people of Oceanside. Also, in my ballot statement, you'll notice that the charter was a big issue, and the charter was not overseen by our city manager nor our city attorney. And I think that it's critical that our staff sees items of that nature to put forth for the people. I think that there's been a lot of many issues that have been out there that this council majority have ignored. From my neighborhood to the mobile home community, to the harbor, to Rancho Del Oro, to Morro Hills, to the gangs in Libby Lake, we have many serious issues.
Thank you. But I would like to ask you a follow-up, if I may. Do you believe that the current 4 council members, Sanchez, Feller, Feline, and Kern, and Mayor Wood, do not provide a voice for the citizens of Oceanside?
I believe that Mayor Wood and Councilmember Sanchez have always represented the city, the neighborhoods. I believe that Councilmember Feline and Mr. Kern and Mr. Feller have time and time again voted for the developers and for people outside of the city of Oceanside. I think it's important that we put our people first, our neighborhoods first, our issues first, and then take care of other people.
Great, thank you. Okay, Mr. Feline, in your ballot statement, you state, this city council has passed meaningful pension reforms. However, you frequently propose a scenario that focuses on the gloom and doom of our financial stability as we face our unfunded liability with CalPERS. How will you solve this?
Well, I'm certainly not going to be able to solve the nightmare of CalPERS and their accounting issues, but what I can solve is, to the best of our ability, is our budget in Oceanside. And the pension reforms we've had are meaningful and relevant. We've required the employees to pay their full 9% of their pensions. We eliminated the EMPS pension spike that added 9% on top of the pensions that already existed. We've increased the retirement age. We've required that you use the 3 top years to average pensions rather than only the highest paid year. And we lowered the percentages that you earn each year towards your pension. So all these things basically are going to balance our budget. They're going to buy time, but ultimately, in the end, it's going to be Sacramento that has to reform the pension system.
Great. Thank you very much. Now, in front of you, I'm going to change the direction of the question. You have a green and a red card. Green means yes, red means no. And so I'm going to ask you a question, and don't hold up the card, please, until I direct you to. And in fact, what I'll do, I'll hold up these two because I'm undecided on the answer. But you just hold up the red or the green. Remember, green is yes, you agree. Red means no, you don't. Okay, the question is, if elected, would you support the hiring and funding of an employee resource which is focused solely on identifying and resolving issues to make the city of Oceanside business friendly? Don't hold the cards up yet. Okay. Okay, now we can do that. Hold them higher, please. And okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, and Mr. Lowry, we're going to go back to you now. In your ballot statement, it states, in references to yourself, now he will work to support small businesses and attract innovative companies to create good-paying jobs to grow Oceanside's economy. What is your specific plan to attract innovative companies? The
question you just posed that you asked all of us to do the red or green on is a really good idea that we can do to make City Hall more user-friendly, not simply friendly to multinational corporations who want to come into Oceanside and build a hotel, for example. I'm thinking that the small businesses that are self-funded, that are growing all along Mission Avenue and along the Coast Highway, could use some help so their projects don't wind up taking 8 years or 7 years to get them open. I believe it's necessary that when someone comes in without a lobbyist or an attorney to represent them, that people should be able to move through City Hall without it being a gridlock situation. Having done that 3 times myself over a period of 35 years, I know how to do that.
Thank you, Chuck. Jerry, I have a question for you. In your ballot statement, you state, as a past president of the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce, you understand the importance of supporting business and attracting new businesses. While serving on the council, how have you supported economic development in our city, and why haven't you worked to recruit an economic development director?
Well, we have an economic development manager who does a very good job. You know, she brings in a lot of businesses and a lot of people. And actually, I go out on my own and talk to people. Just the other day, I talked to a group of investors from Canada who are thinking about coming down, investing in Oceanside. I go out to small businesses. I go out at least twice a month to visit small businesses and interact with them to see what they need. I've helped a lot of small businesses get started. So that red and green card, would I add staff to do something that we should be doing already? No. The idea that we have the ability, we have the capability, and we've been doing that. All you have to do is drive around town and see how well we're doing bringing those businesses in. So we have done a great job, and we're continue to do that great job, and that's why I want to stay on the council, so I can continue bringing those businesses in and that activity downtown.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, Dana, I have a question for you. In your ballot statement, you remind us that 4 years ago, Action was formed and grew to represent and unite 42 Oceanside neighborhoods, and that you are the president of the organization. 2 years ago, at this same forum, you described how the group was formed. In the intervening 2 years, can you tell us how many times the group has met, who are the other officers, and specifically name some of the 42 neighborhoods you represent?
Well, our